The robber poured alcohol all over his body. Then he directly drank the remaining alcohol. After that, Nick scooped up the black motor oil from the bucket and smeared it directly onto his face. He even rubbed dirt all over his entire body. Nick wanted to disguise himself as a beggar using this method to escape the parking lot full of police officers. However, his suspicious behavior still drew the attention of the police. The officers immediately stopped Nick and questioned him.
¿Qué hace usted aquí?
Yo no estaba robando.
The police found that the beggar in front of them was just a drunk. He was even so scared that he wet his pants. The officers were disgusted by Nick's behavior, so they let him go right away. The police would never have guessed that this scruffy beggar was actually the mastermind behind the bank robbery. Meanwhile, an agent found the suspect's vehicle nearby. As soon as she opened the door, she smelled a strong stench of alcohol. All the evidence inside the car had already been cleaned out. There was even a bottle of alcohol on the floor that hadn't been dealt with. Only then did the agent realize that the beggar she just encountered was an accomplice of the robber. However, by the time she reacted, Nick had long fled the scene. Just as the police were at a standstill, an officer brought in a new lead.
Venimos del desguace y hemos interrogado al ruso. Nikolai Dmitrievich, el vigilante. Al parecer hubo un hombre que preguntó por un coche una hora antes de que llegarais. Le habló en ruso.
Nick, who had been smug, became panicked after hearing their conversation through the bug. He panicked instantly, because the security guard had seen his face. If that guard identified him, then all of his plans would fail. He had to do everything he could to stop this. Nick learned some information from the guard's social media account. However, the police soon brought the guard to the scene. They were using AI to reconstruct Nick's appearance. Nick didn't have much time left. He had to stop the guard immediately, because in order to obtain intel from the police, Nick had been contacting the agent under a fake identity. Once she saw the reconstructed image, Nick's true identity would be completely exposed. At that moment, Nick found an unattended police car on the street. He grabbed a piece of wire and stuck it into the window. Soon, Nick unlocked the car door. Unfortunately, the police returned at that moment. Seeing the officers slowly approaching him, Nick suddenly thought of an idea.
Z75 a todas las unidades, tenemos una atraco a mano armada en la calle Alcántara 33, es una ferretería, ¿alguna unidad cerca?
Unidad Z32 para Z75, estamos justo en la puerta, vamos para allá.
And managed to trick the two officers into leaving. However, the police had already completed the reconstruction with the guard's help. Nick's appearance had already been drawn out. Will they be able to solve this case next? Follow me to see how the story continues.